What does nationalizing look like for a Moor on Canadian soil under a Canadian government? A Moor would never be under a Canadian government because there's no such thing as a Canadian government. The Canadian government is a private foreign corporation. Just like the Bay is a private foreign corporation and they call themselves corporation. Just like City of Toronto is a corporation and the ticket says corporation. City of Mississauga is a corporation and the ticket says corporation. City of Brampton is a corporation and the ticket says corporation. So they're not a government, they're a corporation. And they're openly telling people, and they've been telling people, and people's ignorance has them thinking that so-called provinces, cities, states are land. It's not land, those are corporations. So what nationalizing looks like for a Moor on Canadian soil is that they would know how to live within contracts once they become national. So it wouldn't be a threat to, you know, get something, passport, welfare, whatever, because, you know, really and truly anything that we get from these so-called foreigners, colonial powers, is really restitution for all the BS that they've been doing to us. All they want you to do is sign off on it, and they'll give it to you. $50,000 credit card, line of credit, whatever, they'll give it to you. Now, you know, your stuff better be correct. Can't be some wayward, you know what I mean, Negro, black, colored, and then come in, oh yeah, I'm a Moor now, give me my stuff. Like they're gonna check the record to know that you're wayward. Birth record, not, you know, not check court record. They're gonna check your birth record to know that you're either in tune with yourself or you're out of tune with yourself. And if you're out of your tune with yourself, don't expect them to acknowledge or recognize anything relative to you nationalizing on Canadian soil. Because being a Moor is spiritual and divine before it's earthly and national. That's why we tell people, don't think that you can be nigger-minded with a nationality card and have success being a Moor. It ain't happening. Because this doesn't work like that. This doesn't work like shoes put on, just slip your foot in. Right? You have to groom yourself mentally. You have to prepare yourself. Because the illusion is going to shatter when you proclaim your nationality. In front of your face, the illusion is going to shatter. Things will become so clear. You know what I mean? For example, somebody who's not a national on Canadian soil, they get the census sent to their house and they just check off whatever, send it back because, you know, there's threats and all that stuff, whatever, you know what I mean? So they're gonna fill it out, right? Somebody that's a Moor that gets a census, automatically they know that this instrument came from the Department of Agriculture in 1800s or something like that. Department of Agriculture created the census. Why is the Department of Agriculture creating the census? Because the people are collateral. The people are chattel, property. No different than a cow on a farm. So when we see census, we make sure, just so that they don't come kidnap us or whatever, under the guise of the other name that's on the census, put your free national name on it and send it in. That way they can't say that you never sent it in. They can't say that you never filled it out. But then they can't qualify that you're a black guy because you're going to check off Aboriginal, Indigenous or whatever, and you're going to put your free national name on it. And whatever they do after that, you'll deal with that then. You know, it's just like court. You know, if they say, we're going to issue a warrant, if you don't show up to court, it's probably in your best interest to probably go. Just to be sure. Just to be sure that they don't come get you. Because they will come get you. They will abuse their powers and come get you. Right? Once we accept, oh, and this is from Sister S. Once we accept and understand that we are Moors, what is the next step to take? So once you understand mentally that you're a Moor, the next step is to proclaim your nationality that you're a Moor. Because, you know, yes, it's a mental thing and it's mind first, but the reality is that even though it's mind first, being that we're in a society of even if we're in a society that deals with paper cards and all that stuff, you probably should have something, paper card or whatever, right, to prove that you are who you say you are. You know, because you could tell them, but again, majority of our people, they have been Negro black colored more than they're Moors. So when they proclaim that they're Moors, they should have put in as much time as being Moor as they has put in being Negro black colored in order to clean the slate. If not, then, you know, the assumption is going to be based on your lack of, you know, your lack of knowledge is going to let them know. Or let's say when the nigger jumps out at you because you didn't clear your mindset properly, when the nigger jumps out, then that's what they're going to use to come at you as a Moor. The fact that nigger jumped out. That shouldn't be jumping out, because if you say that you're a Moor, then you have the mindset of your ancient foremothers and forefathers, which is why I was telling you about don't do stuff prematurely, because premature actions are only going to get you in bigger trouble, because you shouldn't be doing things that you're not prepared to do. I hear a lot about nationality card. Do we have to have the card in order to apply the law of the land? If so, how do we go about getting ourselves a card? The nationality card comes from your nation. Individuals of your nation that are nationals through rvbaypublications.com can assist you in applying for and receiving your nationality card. In order to apply the supreme law of the land, you have to have a nationality. You cannot be Negro, black, colored, or stateless and talk about you have constitutional rights, because you're violating yourself by doing that. Right? Again, premature. Baby talking about pass the steak. Yeah. Who you fooling about pass the steak? Right? Do our names need to be changed officially on all records? Depends on what you mean by all records. So for instance, at work when making transactions with our bank, are we still supposed to use our corporate name? First of all, it's not your corporate name. Don't ever call it yours. As soon as you call it yours, you give it your power. And you do not want that name having your power, because that name doesn't belong to you. That name belongs to the foreign inquisitionists, which is why they have the power, because everybody likes to say, my license, my passport, my birth certificate, my check, my bank account, my whatever, when that's not yours. So you can't claim it as yours because you didn't create it. And as soon as you claim it as yours, you just gave it your power, and then it transfers your power to its creator. And then now they have jurisdiction to tell you, nope, we're not giving you an advance of whatever, or no, we're not letting you do whatever on your account, or here's this fee and here's this fee and here's this fee and these fees and whatever like that, because that's how they do. Right? If you are using that corporate name, you reserve your rights. You write all rights reserved on the line before you sign anything in that corporate name, and keep it moving. And the reason why you're reserving your rights is because you're not that corporate name. And if you're not that corporate name, then you better be a national and have rights to reserve. How do experienced Moors deal with schools, healthcare system, banks, government to file taxes even though they are not required to pay taxes? Do they still have to declare every year? How does it work? How do Moors deal with schools? Amazite Bey, for example, took his son to the school, signed him up, put his name on the paper, Junior Soldier Bey. I seen, he doesn't have a nationality card, he doesn't have papers or nothing. All he has is his pops. And his pops let the school know who he is. And I seen Junior Bey's report card and it says Junior Soldier Bey on it. So clearly the school recognizes him, his nationality, and the fact that he's an A student, he's on the honor roll. And if they have any type of documentation at that school for honor students, it's going to say Junior Soldier Bey on it. Not some corporate name. The healthcare system. I just went last week, 2 weeks ago. Just went. Go get my health card. Why not? I know how to live within contracts. Reserve my rights. Put my fez on. Everybody looking like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Take my picture. Reserve my rights on that contract. Get my free health care. They're offering. Who am I to deny myself free health care if I need it? You know, we got holistic people we go to, but you know, anything could happen. You might have to go get a cast or something like that. You know, anything could happen. So why not have the free health care? I mean, you know, yeah, it's in the corporate name because that's not my health care. Now, if the Moors had health care, then it'll be my free national name on it. Because I know that's our stuff. But anything having to do with this colonist, they're not getting my free national name on their stuff. That's their stuff. Let them deal with the corporate name. I'll deal with my free national name. They're not having jurisdiction over that. Right? Transactions with the bank. Again, either or. Either you go in there with a nationality card, put your nationality card, open a bank account, or use the corporate name, all rights reserved, sign over, all rights reserved. After you write all rights reserved on the signature line, submit your paperwork, get your bank account or whatever it is that you got, you know what I mean? Government to file taxes. Just last week, got the letter from Canada Revenue Agency letting me know that they're going to take my GST checks and put those towards what I owe in taxes because I told them I'm not paying taxes. Sent them a writ when they said I owe $800. Sent them a writ. Sorry, I don't know who you guys are. You claim that you're Canada Revenue Agency. Clearly you guys are inquisitionists. This is not my name. I've been put you guys on notice 4 or 5 years ago, 3-4 times that I'm not this name that you guys are talking about taxes. So until you answer my questions in this writ of discovery, I'm not paying you guys anything. Service Canada has a contract with Canada Revenue Agency that if there's some type of issue with money owing to Canada Revenue Agency, Service Canada is going to check their whatever and see where they can extract some funds, you know, under the guise of, well, you're not going to get your GST check because, you know, we used to give you these checks every month, but now you owe taxes, now we're going to put it to that. And they just took, no, they didn't get nothing because, you know, it's just bookkeeping. They just discharge the goddamn taxes without saying discharge because they weren't giving me nothing. GST check, that's fiat. Taxes that I owe, that's fiat. So what they do? Oh, they say, well, you know, because they look at it like, you know, I'm Negro, you know, I'm black, I'm colored, so, you know, I'm gonna, oh my God, well, I need my GST check because, I don't need that. I got a store.